Okay, so seventh grade was probably the most like mixed year I've ever had of school. Like most of the time, a year is either like really good or it's really shitty. A seventh grade was like it was like 50-50. Half of it was really good, the other half was pretty shitty. Um, and here's the reason why. Like I said, in the in the bus there was like a weird hierarchy, and the back of the bus was like where you wanted to be, right? And so I used to sit in like the middle to the back, like one step away from being in the back. And I used to fuck. Um, I used to fuck me. He's not dead yet. I'm just gonna go. I can't think. Hold on. Okay, so like I said, I didn't used to sit in the back, and so one day I decided, fuck this. I'm just gonna go sit in the back because I used to be one of the first kids on the bus because I didn't do anything after school, and I was paranoid that the bus was just gonna leave me one day. And so as soon as school would get out, we had like 5 minutes to get to the bus. I would just fucking rush there, um, to make sure I didn't get like abandoned or something, because it was so far away from my house. Where's your hair? Oh fuck, it's a tank. I'm so fucking dead. Oh. Okay. And so since I was like one of the first ones on the bus, I got to pick my seat every day. And one day I decided I'm just gonna sit in the back. And so I walk over to the back and I just take a seat in like probably the second to last row of the bus. And since all the fucking cool kids would sit in the back, they like took their time getting to the bus, right? And so they were always like the last ones on the bus. And so the bus is like all the way filled up, no more like seats left. But um they start like getting on the bus. And I'm like, all right, fuck, okay, whew. Okay, like I'm gonna stand my fucking ground and I'm gonna start sitting in the back seat. And this dude comes up to me, I don't remember his name. Um he's like an eighth grader, and he comes up to me, he's like, hey, what are you doing back here? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing back here? I'm sitting. What does it look like? I didn't say that because I was a bitch, but I was just like, I don't know, I'm just sitting here. And he's like, oh, you know, someone else is sitting there. I'm like, no, I was here first, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, you gotta go. And I was like, no. And so I just didn't move. And he, like, just stopped talking to me about it and was like, fuck, whatever. And so from that day on, I just sat in the back of the bus. However, the act of just sitting in the back of the bus the wasn't the status symbol, you know what I mean? If you wanted to sit in the back of the bus, you had to be a part of the group. And so slowly over like the next couple months, I like weaned my way into this group. Um, it was like weird. I felt like I was being fucking hazed for like a fucking frat or something, but I had to like fucking get shit on basically for a month before I was even like talked to or like acknowledged that I was there. Um, this kid, his name was Jalen, and I don't know if I should be giving that out. Whatever. He we ended up being like really good friends. Like he's a really cool dude. Oh fuck. Um, but like when I first started in the back, he was already back there, and he was the same grade as me. We actually went to the same elementary school, at least for a little bit. I think he might have moved away or something. I don't know if I can remember. But anyway, yeah, he used to sit in the back because he was a fucking cool kid, and I didn't because I was a dumb fucking nerd. But anyway, he used to say this line where I would like start to try to talk to someone, and he'd be like, "Oh, who invited you to this conversation?" or something like that. Some shit like, "Hey, no one asked you," basically. And I used to just like I used to just like shut me up because I was a little punk ass bitch back then, and so I'd be like, "Oh, sorry, blah blah blah." And then one day he said it, and I was like, I was like, I did, because I used to have a really high voice before I got this man voice. I used to have a real bitch voice, and so I was like, oh, I did, and then kind of like forced my way into the, like, conversations, and eventually they were just like, all right, he's all right. And the reason, like the only fucking reason I was accepted was because I was funny. I mean, that's like one of the one qualities I got, you know what I mean? That's like a huge thing that I used to gain social status, is to just basically have everybody know me as the funny guy, you know what I mean? Like, it's a positive thing, it's something good, and it fucking works. And so they accept me because I'm like over here making better jokes and shitting on people, and that's basically when I entered like a real, like, pretty sour patch of my life, where I was like a fucking bully, as like an easy way to get laughs and like gain popularity for myself. I just like did it at the expense of other people who were already being made fun of by that same group of people, like just bandwagon hopping on that sort of fucking torment. Like, a super shitty thing to do. Like, I'm not proud of it, but it's like a big part of the timeline, basically. And so I basically get to the point where, like, oh, they're cool with me, I'm cool with them, and they start to like include me in all the shit they used to do. Because before, I was just basically a fly on the wall. Like, they would do their shit and I wouldn't bother to ask, and they for damn sure wouldn't tell me, because I was a fucking weirdo in their eyes. And so one day, we're driving on the bus, and they're just like fucking making a ruckus, being bad. And we used to do this thing that I'm not too sure how, like, I don't know if other like school buses ever did this, but like the rule on the bus was that you could only roll up the window or roll down the window halfway. You weren't allowed to put it all the way down. It was either all the way up or halfway down. And so we would like pinch it halfway down, roll up like fucking loose leaf paper, like schoolwork and shit that we didn't need, and like just launch it out of the bus at like oncoming cars, like on the freeway and shit. Just basically litter at high speeds and like cause very real danger to other drivers. Fucking great innocent fun, right? And one day we're driving in the bus, and we're already off the freeway, like making stops basically. Like, we've already made one stop, so we're like in a residential area, and we pull up at a light, and there's a car next to us, and we all roll down the windows, and like on the count of three, we all just fucking launch papers at them. And it's like a nice little car, and so we drive off. Like, we were at a bus stop, like dropping kids off, and so the dude fucking follows us for like probably like half a mile or a mile to the next bus stop. And so we get to the next bus stop, and some people get off. No one from the back of the bus gets off there. And so as they're getting off, he comes on. The dude we hit comes onto the bus and is like, hey, who the fuck threw this shit? Like, he was mad as fuck. He was like, who the fuck threw this at my car? And he knew it was from the back of the bus, obviously, because like he could see where the fuck the paper came from. He just didn't know what window or who was sitting where. I think we even actually like played musical chairs, like just in case he memorized what window it was. Like, we switched fucking, god damn it, we switched fucking seats so he couldn't like point us out or something like that. And so he comes onto the bus. He's like, who the fuck threw that? The bus driver's oblivious, and they're like, what the fuck's happening? Because the bus driver didn't know we're launching shit out the window. And he's like, someone's throwing shit out my car. You kids are fucking around, blah, blah, blah. Like, cursing up a storm at us like fucking 13-year-olds. And we're over here trying not to laugh, like, trying to be stone-faced, but at the same time, like, worried that we're going to, like, get the police called on us or something. Being super irrational, as you do as a fucking dumb kid. And eventually he's just like, all right, well, make sure it doesn't happen again, and leaves. So we got away with vandalism, and that was fun. And so I think that'll conclude the first set of stories for the 7th grade. I might clump us in with 6. It's kind of short, but yeah. Let me know what you think about this sort of story time. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna call it, but keep an eye out for more. I have plenty of stories about middle school and high school and just life in general. Thank you all for watching. Maybe next time we might play another game that I can sort of just mindlessly play and tell stories about. So thank you all for watching, and see you next time.